Alrighty then, it's time for everyone's favorite jungle tree, Not-Ivern. This one, yeah, Angry Tree is far better than Happy Tree. So, anyways, look at both team compositions. Both team comps are very balanced. They kind of have a weakness of initiation. Both teams have a delayed sort of initiation. Zac is their best initiation with a Talia potential initiation using her ultimate. My ultimate is rather slow and can be ineffective in certain situations, so there's that. And Brahms is very delayed, so both teams have that kind of issue, but both teams have initiation, which is kind of rare these days in solo queue, but whatever. Anyways, I know Zac is likely going to gank top, so I throw my babies into this bush and I just kind of wait for him to show up. He does show up, start wrecking his ass, and then he tries to jump over, and then I tethered him there. See, I made sure to hold to that, to my root, or my CC, or at least one of them, until he tried to jump, so I keep him in place. If he had not failed his flash, I'd probably just flash over and kill him there, so he was just, dead as hell can be. There, in that little gank I attempted on Trundle, I was hoping that Darius was sort of in sync with me on that, but he wasn't. If he was, we might have dealt way more damage or straight out killed him. Although in that situation he got a little too aggro because he thought he'd be able to kill the Trundle and ended up dying, thus giving Trundle a double buff. I am a little bit worried about the situation, so I hang top lane hoping that the Darius lures the Trundle to me. Because if I tried going at him right now, he'd just kind of walk away. Like in this case, Darius turns around to fight him, and instead he should try to lure him to this bush closest to me where I'm trying to put my babies in to do maximum damage. But no, Darius positioned himself really poorly and got initiated on in a very disadvantageous spot and took way too much free damage. So essentially, that was really bad, and it set me behind. Let's see, the key phrase for this team battle is map awareness. It's going to come into play quite a bit. Anyways, the other laners are doing rather fine. Both team comps are doing rather, evenly, but they're spacing each other out. Everyone's farming rather adequately. And if anything, that just kind of means the junglers are going to have to make the difference in this game. Zac right now, I'm not too sure, or at least when I was playing this game, I wasn't too sure what he was trying to do. Seemingly just scouting and whatnot. Eventually, I do see him walking around bottom lane, or at least because of the plant, I know where he is. So I'm trying to, find him. This little tiny scuttle crab thing gives me away, so I try not to get too aggressive on the Talia. Although she is getting aggressive on the Lux. Either way, though, she is playing safely, so that was pretty good for my team. Then Zac finally shows up to try to do a gank, and I pop my ultimate immediately because I know he's still going to jump. Because I knew my ultimate would grab at least Talia, easily killing her, or stop the Zac from killing the Lux. Here, I just start doing basically free damage. Zac can't kill me, and Talia's too afraid to get close enough to continuously damage me. And at this point in this little corridor, she gets too close, and I WQ her. I'd rather go for the sure kill on Talia than keep going after the Zac, who might lead me to danger from bottom lane. As a result of that, I knew Zac would likely go home, so I easily steal his Kruggies and then just retreat. Yeah, it's pretty good. I got a kill, I put Zac behind, making him waste his time, and now he's basically, as far as I knew when I was in this game, I knew he didn't have many camps to clear at that moment. For whatever reason, too, the Talia decides to get too close to me, and she gets CC'd, and then she walks the direction where Lux would be closest, so she gets, combo killed. That was pretty bad. And now as a result of that too, I get to steal Zac's wraiths, or chickens, or whatever. The enemy team, the bottom laner, should have seen Lux and I leaving the mid lane. So easily, my ultimate goes in and grabs them both, and we just get a really quick kill on them. I don't even go in for auto attacks or anything because I knew I didn't have to get myself involved. They were super low in health. They were CC down, and I already took, I think, one tower shot, and the rest of my teammates were able to space it out. And I didn't want to steal the kills, because this is one of those games where we're gonna have to rely on our carry tremendously. And right now, my team has the advantage of having the kill spread on two pretty damn good, three targets, or three teammates rather well. Once again, I go down bottom lane, although nothing happens here, except one of their flashes being blown out. This right here is something that I don't like too much. The Lucian and the Zillion got a little bit too cocky and tried to stop me from stealing their, killing their red ward. So essentially, they took a lot of damage there for relatively no gain, and they should know I'm still here. So I easily pop my ultimate, And I grab both the Lucian and the Zillion again. This time they are a bit more ready and not as close to death, so it takes a lot more effort to bring them down. But I'm really big right now. I can take a lot of turret shots before I get taken down. So right now, Lucian was the first one killed. Then we go in for Zillion. We trade the aggro of the tower, especially since he still has a little watch right there. And I heal off one of those minions before I die. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Bottom lane is essentially gone towards my team, and like I said, it was pretty even. In this game, it's all about the junglers, and I'm currently out jungling the Zac. Although, to give him a bit of credit, or at least, you know, not to peg on him so much, the Talia's weird decisions in mid lane did cost him a lot. Because she died twice in very terrible ways, I was able to steal some camps from him and put him behind. You know, that's pretty grisly. Also, since I kind of have the timers on everything, I'm just constantly stealing it from him. You know, here I get the blue buff, Trundle's close to his tower, so I figure we might be able to sort of dive him. So I pop my ultimate, or you know, I'll pop my ultimate soon. Pop my ultimate, and then I go in, but then I barely notice, holy crap, we don't have any real damage on him, and he popped his ultimate on the Darius, and essentially we can't really bring him down. However, the Trundle gets a little too overconfident and just keeps taking stack damage from the Darius or his passive, and then we bring him down. The Trundle didn't need to do any of that. He wasn't paying attention to the stacks and how much damage he's gonna receive from Darius, or Darius, whatever you want to call him. And essentially he died. There Zac shows up, but again, I'm one step ahead of him and constantly stealing his camps. He's effectively one level below me, although he does have more farm, so most of it is kind of lane farm from his dead homies. Here, we easily catch Talia through the bullshit of my snare. And even though a lot of spells were missed, she just wasn't going to get through this chain CC from all of us. Pretty grisly, right? Once again, a camp is open for me, and I go to steal it. Zac was right here, you know, hoping to get it, but he can't. He and Zillion cannot do enough damage to force me and Braum out, so we've regained full control of his jungle. We see that Lucian is somewhere around here, but he managed to, you know, retreat home. Then, if he hadn't, I would have just stolen his Krugs and kept the Zac even more behind. Yeah, like I said, at this point, it's looking pretty bad for the enemy team. Once again, they don't respect the fact that my ultimate is really brutal. It causes Zillion to burn his flash, and then Lucian to just kind of explode. Zillion, I didn't think he had any of the mana to actually save his homie. Though Zac is able to actually kill the Braum thanks to his ultimate in the tower, but it doesn't really ultimately matter, and kind of forcing the Zillion to fight means that both he and Zillion end up getting killed when they could have just retreated and tried defending the tower. I know. Well, here Trundle comes in, walls me in, bites me. He does everything to, you know, destroy me, and then he sucks my life away with his ultimate, and I die. I throw him one of my last babies as a final hurrah, dealing actually quite a bit of damage. And then the Trundle gets a little bit too cocky and, you know, chased too far in, and the Lux just kind of blew him up. So yeah, this is one of those games where it all kind of fell apart because certain players were just not paying attention or respecting their opponents, and thus they got punished for it. Talia, again, didn't respect the fact that I could easily destroy her if she gets too close to me, and she was playing a little bit too overconfident. In the same vein, I kind of have to, you know, take my own advice on that. I was not really respecting the Trundle's willingness to survive, and, you know, I should have not gotten my Darius killed and pretty beat up. But thankfully, the Darius was able to survive his lane and not get too punished too much for my mistakes. And at this point, yeah, they kind of are forfeited. Lucian was raging in chat and just kind of, you know, feeding at this point. The rest of his team were still trying very hard, but again, it's one of those games where at this point you might just want to surrender because there's no coming back from any of this. Like 5-19. The kills in my team are spread out rather well, although eventually throughout the course of the game I just happened to get a bunch of kills too, so, you know, whatever, right? I didn't want them all on me, but you saw that early on in the game. I was trying to pass the love to my teammates. That's kind of what you normally want to do especially as a CC jungler, but nonetheless, it happened. At least enough kills are, at least in my other partners, my actual carry teammates, have enough CS of their own and kills to do a good job. The enemy team tries their final hurrah here. two had actually pretty good effect. They catch two of us. I think somebody else dies that died a little bit earlier. But yeah, oh yeah, it was me. The final hurrah, but then they kind of throw it away by getting a little too aggressive and getting pushed back. At this point, I think the Lucian tried again to come back into the game, and they went for the Baron in a desperate attempt, but they had no health, so the Ezreal just kind of shows up and like two-shots everybody, and we secure the Baron too, because, you know, they're not going to do anything about that. And yeah, it's kind of a sad... it was, you know, to be fair, what else were they going to do, right? They kind of risked it all on that, and they lost. But it was a good show. It was a good show. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos, because YouTube and stuff.